carving out time for yourself, even if it's just 5 minutes, to do something that you enjoy, that takes care of you, that allows you to release some stress, that allows your brain to just kind of turn off for a minute because it's so engaged in what you're doing, is hugely important.
Be manly and the legends of humanity. Welcome to the Fellowship of Honourable Men and Women Role Models for Boys and Men, because you have the power to be a man in all its glory.
Continuing our discussion about how not to be a loser in your life, let's nurture some well-being. And we're talking about mental health, self-care. Can you provide some practical tips and advice for men to prioritize their mental well-being?
Yeah, I think it starts with realizing that your mental well-being and your self-care is important, right? And that's tough because a lot of times men see themselves as like the caretaker of the family, right? They're oftentimes, and maybe not so much now, but at least when I was a kid, like the dads were working and the moms were at home kind of thing. And self-care can get, and particularly now, I think has this connotation of it's like facials and spa days and fingernails and manicures and pedicures, which, by the way, to the men out there, go get a damn pedicure. They feel amazing. It's like a foot massage. You don't have to get polished. So get over yourself and go get a pedicure and then thank me for it later. So there's my public service announcement for pedicures. They're amazing. But that aside, right? Self-care for men, like having a place that an activity, a place that you can go to let off steam, to shake off the day. And even better, if you have a group of friends that you can talk to about your frustrations, about, your family. I know you love them, but I love my family and they can drive me up a freaking wall sometimes. So to be able to talk to someone about that and be like, man, my partner's driving me insane right now, and then come home and feel better because I've let off that steam is huge. So whether that's golf or going and watching a sporting event or fishing or playing a musical instrument. My dad plays the banjo and he just goes out in the backyard and starts playing the banjo. And it's a form of self-care because it's something he enjoys, right? So carving out time for yourself, even if it's just 5 minutes, to do something that you enjoy, that takes care of you, that allows you to release some stress, that allows your brain to just kind of turn off for a minute because it's so engaged in what you're doing, is hugely important, to then give you space when you come back to be around your people, to be present with what's happening, be present around them.
So being present sounds like a great way to have that self-care. And is that something you can do in a variety of different ways? Some people talk about meditation, having time for meditation. How do you find what works for you?
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to be present. I mean, present, basically, being present is another one of these terms that gets like bantied about, and in this woke society that we're all in, I guess. But being present just means that, like, I'm here right now with you, engaged in this conversation, and I am not thinking about, okay, so when I'm done, I'm talking to you, but if I'm not present, this is what's going on. I'm talking to you, but in my brain's going, okay, so when I'm done with this podcast with Damien, then I need to empty the dishwasher, and then I need to turn on the grill so that we can get the salmon going. And if you're talking to me and my brain is doing that, I'm not present. I'm not here. I'm there starting the grill for the salmon that's going to be for dinner after, right? So being able to practice being right here, right now, meditation is a big one. And people often think like, oh, I can't meditate. Well, I can't meditate either. It's hard because you sit there, and just sitting there, we're so used to being go, go, go all the times that our brain does wander off to, okay, so as soon as how much time has gone by? Okay, so as soon as this is done, I've got like this laundry list of things. One of the most helpful things that I have learned for myself to be present is to connect to my breath, because it's a physical thing, right? So I can breathe in and feel my chest rise and breathe out and feel it go down. I can count 1 as I breathe in and 2 as I breathe out. And if I find my mind getting distracted, then I just start again at 1. And I count to 10 and then I start back again at 1, and I count to 10 or 5. I mean, you choose, I don't care. You can count to 3 and then start over. The number doesn't matter. But what it is it's just training your brain to focus on what I'm doing right now is I'm breathing. That's all that's happening. I'm breathing. Walking meditations, which is basically just walking while trying to stay present, is huge. So like really listening to the sound of your feet on the dirt, or going for a walk and like, what are all the smells that I can smell? Ooh, somebody's making bacon this morning, and I can smell somebody's laundry. So they must have the dryer going, and that tree is in bloom. And what does this flower smell like? Or that smells like cut grass. Oh, is it going to rain? Because I kind of feel like it smells like it's going to, like, right? Or what's the furthest away sound I can hear? So it's not about like doing nothing. Which often people think meditation is about like nothingness, doing nothing. It's not necessarily about that. It can be an active thing, but it's staying present to the active thing that you're doing. And those are some tools that you can use, or some tricks that you can use to keep bringing yourself back to, no, wait, I'm not planning my shopping list. I'm smelling the smells that are all around me, right? So just those are some tips that I do. And I kind of use them sporadically depending on how I feel. Sometimes the breath just like brain's too busy for that. So then, okay, we got to do something else. We got to like look for colors, or how many different wildflowers can I find? Or, are the bees out? Can I listen for the bees? Like sometimes you just got to be a bit more active, and it just depends on the day.
Before you go, you're invited to continue the Be Manly and the Legends of Humanity journey. Subscribe to our YouTube and become a patron, where you can become a courageous crusader, a wise warrior, a daring dynamo, and even an ascending avenger. Here you'll find all the tools to become a man in all its glory. We're honored to walk side by side with you on this extraordinary adventure. Together, we're unleashing the full power of manhood, creating a better world for everyone.